Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your channel host, GBHL James.
And GBHL Jamie. And it's the last of the supplement review, sourcebook review, Kingdoms of Men. It's Arnor, Numenor and the scenarios to play.
Yes, we're going to wrap these into one, and that's because Arnor's
alright, he's got no troops.
He's got no troops. There's a few cool heroes to talk about in there, but no troops. Numenor is vastly under...
There's four options for Numenor.
Yeah, there's not a lot really to talk about there, and then of course we have got the scenarios as well. So this will be the last video before we consider moving on to a different themed week, yep. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. So let's start off with Arnor. Now Arnor was the old kingdom in the north.
Yep.
Old part of Numenor when it got split up from Gondor.
Arnor in the sourcebook though is mixed in with the Grey Company.
Yes.
They're not different factions anymore, they are just all thrown in together.
And of course the Grey Company are the Dunedain later on at the time of the War of the Ring. You know,
the remnants.
The remnants. And you do have a very interesting mix of historical and, I would guess you would say up-to-date heroes. Third age heroes. And we actually start off with Heroes of Arnor with one of those ancient heroes, which is Arvedui, the last king of Arnor. He is the last king.
He is, yeah.
So this guy, he's got fight value 5,
yeah,
which is pretty good.
It's alright.
He's got 4+ shoot value, which doesn't matter. He's strength 4. He's defense 6 because he's got heavy armour in his war gear. He's got 2 attacks, 2 wounds. He's got courage 5.
Yep.
And he's got 3 might, 2 will, and 0 fate.
Yeah.
0 fate. Now he's got 0 fate because this is the guy
who dies.
Yeah, he dies.
He dies.
He dies. He gets shipwrecked.
Yeah.
After leaving the ice bay of Forachel. Can't even say it. After being chased up there by the Witch King, who was destroying Arnor. Now he does have a special rule, which is actually very useful in this.
King of the North.
You were dying to do that.
As soon as I
You've been waiting this whole book to do that.
As soon as I was like, I've got to do it. Got to do it. King of the North.
He is. He is the king in the North.
King of the North.
None of this Rob Snow.
Rob Stark.
Rob Stark, sorry, Rob Snow. Jon Snow. Rob Stark. None of this Rob Stark nonsense.
Arvedui Stark, King of the North.
Now he's got the standfast, which is 12 inches.
Yeah.
Now, as when we get to the troops, that's actually very useful.
Really useful for Arnor.
Now the issue with him is, of course, being 0 fate, this guy's going to go down pretty quickly, isn't he?
In combat, yeah.
In combat.
A few lost, well, a lost combat, and he could snuff it.
So do you think I mean, he's fight 5, what are you doing with this hero?
Well, I've played against him, and it was Alan Liddell had him as the leader of his force. Quite brave.
I said it is brave.
He sticks him, obviously, next to the next character, who is a very, very good character. And he actually got him into combat, but only against things that he knew he'd do well against.
Yes, so you got to pick your fights with someone like this. We were like this.
He goes in and he just kills like 1 troop a turn reliably. Every turn, just kill a troop, keep the army together. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we don't see this guy loads.
No.
But some people do like to take Arnor because it's a nice looking army.
It's a very nice looking army.
Very nice looking army with some really nice looking heroes, and he's a lovely model himself, I actually think. I've had a couple of them in my time. So, but next up we move on to a hero which is much more useful again.
Yeah. And appears in a few very competitive lists.
Yeah, and not always as part of an Arnor list.
No, not.
In fact, often not. Often not. This is Malbeth the Seer.
Yeah, Malbeth the Seer. So he's gifted with foresight. Is his little fluff rule here. He's fight 3 and 4+ with strength 4, defense 5, 1 attack, 2 wounds, and courage 5. He's not a combat hero. No. He's your sort of mage character. He's got 1 might, 2 will, and 1 fate. He wears armour and carries a staff as well. That's definitely a staff.
Yes.
It doesn't say it's a staff though. And his options is the gift of foresight.
Why does it say options? It must be a typo.
It's a typo. It's obvious a special rule, not an option. Because you definitely take this. Every time a good model within 6 inches, good model being the key word there, within 6 inches of Malbeth suffers a wound, on a roll of d6. On a 5+, the wound is prevented exactly as if a fate point had been spent. Note, if this roll has failed, fate points may still be spent as normal. It's essentially Fury for good models.
Channeled Fury.
Channeled Fury for good models, yeah.
Channeled Fury for good models.
So who doesn't channel Fury?
Yeah.
Fury is 5+.
Yes. Yeah. Which is huge.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely huge. And all of a sudden, you know, you can have some real survivable, hoarded, good armies.
Yeah.
So I can imagine him being quite good with a hoarded Gondor army.
Yeah, Gondor, at least he sort of fits in. You can say you can fluff it up saying that's Arnor in its prime.
Yeah, Shire.
Shire force,
shooty force.
Lots of models, even...
Quite good to support a shooty force, I suppose.
Any force.
So you outshoot things.
Yeah, well, just any force that he's in.
Now he's 10 points more expensive than Arvedui, and that really, even though his profile, you know, the actual profile itself is a lot weaker.
It's all about that rule.
That rule is worth a lot, and you can see it because he becomes kind of a mid-range hero. He kind of goes from being, I would say that's kind of the boundary.
Mid-range, yeah. 70 points is fair, 80 points is a mid-range. It's too expensive, yeah.
Yep, so he's definitely going up into that mid-range kind of level. So you do see a lot of Malbeth in these Arnor lists going around.
Yeah.
And next up, we actually come to a hero which is from the Grey Company. Now I think it's really important.
Should we do the Captain of Arnor and then move on to the Grey Company?
Yeah, let's do it in the order that these books should be if we'd have written them. I was about to say logical people, but we make mistakes as well. Yeah. Okay, so next up we've got the Captain of Arnor.
Yeah, so the Captain of Arnor, very much the sort of standard man profile, except it's fight 5.
Wow.
Which is what the...
That's what Dol Amroth
should be. And these guys should be... Well, these guys should be fight 5 as well.
And if the Rohan heroes were fight 6, no, it's usually supposed to be fight 4, isn't it?
He's fight 4. So Captain of Arnor fight 5, which is very good. Strength 4, which is hero standard. Defense 6, with just heavy armor on. 2 attacks, 2 wounds. Courage 3, because Arnor's courage is their letdown. 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. With the option to take a shield for defense 7 or a bow. And you're going to take the shield.
Yeah. So go up to defense 7, being fight 5, standard captain profile. It's pretty good. It's quite solid.
Just lacks a horse.
It's a solid foot captain.
And he's cheap.
He's cheap. Yeah. You know, very very cheap actually. Gosh, yeah.
The courage is the only letdown. That's the courage 3, but for what he is in game before you break, he's really good.
And those 3 are really, they're the only ones that you would consider to be sort of those really historical. Then we kind of get to a little bit historical, and it's also a good point.
Like early Third Age.
Yeah, it's a good point now to start talking about the Grey Company element of this. Of course, the Grey Company are the remnants of the Dunedain, and there is a very very special rule for this list, which is the Grey Company, and this allows you to take 100% bows.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, so for every 4 warriors with bow, or
well, for every
ranger, every ranger.
Read it out.
You may opt to take a Grey Company force. If you do so, your force or an allied contingent in your force that contains only models from the Arnor list can take up to 4 rangers of Arnor for each ranger of the North or Dunedain it contains. It can do so, even this would take it above the normal bow limit.
Yeah.
So basically, if you want 100% bows, for every 4 rangers of Arnor, you would take 1 ranger of the North or Dunedain, and it allows you to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, which is, we'll come on to that when we talk about the Rangers of the North, the Dunedain, the Rangers of Arnor.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first up is Arathorn. Who is Arathorn?
Father of Aragorn.
Wow, he's got to be good.
Yeah. Well, he's what was Swadler say? He's a good man. His son could be a great man.
So he's got, that was good. He's got fight value 5.
Yep.
Which
is good.
And he's got 3+ shoot value. Now he does have bows.
He is a ranger.
Yeah, he's a ranger, so that's kind of what you want. His strength 4, his defense 5, but again he's that hero ranger, so...
Yeah, that's what you expect. They're only wearing armour.
Now he's got 3 attacks.
3 attacks is good.
It's very, very good. 2 wounds, courage 5.
The sort of attacks you'd expect the father of Aragorn to have.
Yes, definitely. And he's got 3 might as well.
Yeah, he's 3-2-1.
3-2-1, which is very interesting. Now the one obviously reflects the fact that he died.
Oh, poor Aragorn.
That he died. But yeah, he's got the armour and a bow, and he's a stunning model.
He's really cool.
He's a really...
You can make a really cool Aragorn conversion out of him.
He is an absolute...
You can make a really cool anyone conversion out of him. Just take the head and beard.
Santa.
He could be Santa.
It's Christmas!
Santa, change his sword for a candy cane or a bag of presents.
Yeah, it'd be good. He is the mid-level hero as well.
Yeah, he's a good cost. He's just a bit more than Arvedui.
Now I think one of the things that can let him down a little bit is because, you know, he's a combat hero, but he's a soft combat hero, I would say. He's got the fight 5, he's got the 3 attacks, he's got the 3 might, but he's probably going to die pretty quickly with the
defense 5.
With the defense 5, the 2 wounds and the 1 fate. He's going to go down quite.
For his points cost and the fact that you have to have someone leading the Rangers to get the 100% bows, he's not a terrible choice.
Definitely not. He's not too expensive to keep at the back. And it's a shame that you can't take horse as an option.
Yeah.
Because that can obviously limit heroes in this game. But good hero nonetheless, I would say. Solid. Pretty solid. Okay, so we move on. And next up, oh wow, who is this?
Well, it's his son.
It's Aragorn, it's Isildur.
Yeah, big hero. So we've seen LSR in this book. This is Isildur. So he's fight 6, strength 4, defense 5, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 6, 3 might, 3 will, 3 fate, mighty hero, and his war gear is a bow with the option for an elven cloak.
Wow. So this is Aragorn in his ranger format. So this is this
before he's Strider. Well, whilst he's Strider, but not the Strider profile.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now he's got a couple of cool special rules. Of course, he's got Mighty Hero. He doesn't have the option to take armor like some of the Strider profiles we were getting to on the Fellowship.
He's already got it.
So.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, to get to defense 6. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. So not to get to.
He's just defense 5 naturally.
But the fact that he can take an elven cloak maybe suggests sort of more the kind of role that he's going to take, and some of his special rules. So as well as Mighty Hero being able to do that 3-point of might every turn, he's also got Chieftain of Forgotten Arnor.
Yeah. So Legolas, Gimli, and any heroes or warriors from Arnor list count as being in range of a banner if Aragorn is within 3 inches of them. Which is good.
That's really good.
Good.
Now you do tend to. I've seen it sometimes that when people have done sort of the Fellowship or Hero, they'll take this profile instead.
Yeah, because Legolas and Gimli are there.
So it gives you the rerolls on their mesh.
Essentially, Legolas is 3 dice, Gimli's 4 or 3 if he's going two-handed. Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
That's good.
And then even more. Well, not even more, I would say, but again,
just as good.
Just as good.
And the reason why I think that he gets included in a 3 hunters list is Aragorn Isildur moves through difficult terrain, as do Legolas, Gimli, and both heroes and warriors from the Arnor list, if they're within 6 inches of him.
Which again is great.
Yeah. So he's heroic marching. Everyone's running 9 inches through. Except Gimli's running 8 through woodland or any difficult terrain, and you're outstripping any army really.
Which is incredibly useful. Now, of course, he doesn't have the option to take horse and stuff like some of the others, but it's a different kind of role. He's quite expensive.
He is. He's more expensive than Strider.
He's more expensive than Strider.
Because of his Chieftain of Forgotten Arnor and Master of the Wilderness.
Yeah, those are effectively what you're paying for. You're paying for that. So he's got reduced options, but he does have those special rules. And I like the fact that he's there or thereabouts, because it does put you in that predicament.
Yeah, so you go Strider, Isildur, LSR.
Yeah, you're kind of like, well, especially if you're taking that Fellowship list.
Yeah.
Of course, we are talking about him in context of this list, the Arnor list, and the key thing is the fact that you can get the Rangers, woodland creature.
Woodland Rangers.
Which is really cool. So next up, maybe we should go...
Do these guys, and do these ones last.
Yeah. So here we've got some invaders, we've got some guys who,
Yeah, let's do him first, and then we can do the elves.
Yeah, good call. Yeah. So next up we've got Halbrand.
Halbrand Dunedain.
So this is the guy who leads the Grey Company to Aragorn before he goes and meets the dead, as it were. Leads 30 Grey Company down. So Halbrand Dunedain. So he's fight 5.
Yep.
So again, pretty good. He's strength 4, defense 5. So again, that kind of ranger defense. 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 6.
Yep, very high.
Very, very high courage. And again, he's got 3, 2, 1, exactly the same as Arathorn.
Yeah.
Now, he comes with armour and bow. But the really interesting thing is his war gear options.
Yeah.
So he's 10 points cheaper than Arathorn.
Yep.
But he does have the option to have a horse.
He does indeed, yeah.
So all of a sudden he could have 3 attacks with the charge.
3 to charge, 6 of the knockdown becomes proportionally better.
Yes. He can also take a spear, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
But then he's got the banner of Arwen Evenstar.
Yeah, the banner, you very rarely see him in game with the banner.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's almost as many points as he is base. Yeah. So the banner of Arwen Evenstar is a banner but affects friendly models within 6 inches, not 3 inches, so better range.
Big range.
Which is cool, which is good. Now good models within 6 inches of the banner automatically pass any courage test they are required to take. Halbrand can still use his bow if he carries his banner. Now that is interesting in this list.
Yeah.
When we get to the troops.
The troops aren't great for courage, let's be honest. That makes them nullify that.
Yeah. It takes it away.
Yeah.
Now, of course, anybody who wants to kind of get rid of that is going to target him, so that it can get rid of the troops. But at the same time, it's nice to have that kind of rule in there that he is buffing the army around him.
Then the warriors of Arnor, who are the real letdowns for courage, shouldn't be around when he's around.
No, that's true.
So.
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very, very true.
But I guess if there's I always think there's fell beast anyways. If there's something that causes terror, Rangers of Arnor probably aren't going to charge it that often. That just takes that away entirely.
Yeah, of course it does. Now, the real predicament with taking Halbrand. Halbrand's the kind of guy that you want if you've got Aragorn in your list. Is when you come to that thing of do you take Arathorn or Halbrand on a horse?
Yeah. Well, my friend Harry took to Stockport and came 4th overall. Lost to drew with Dave Nolan in the last round. If he'd won, he'd have come 2nd, I think. Mm-hmm. He took Halbrand Dunedain as his general for it.
Wow.
Yeah. On horse, without the banner, without the spear. Over Arathorn because he wanted the mobility.
Yeah. I would take that too. I'm exactly the same. I've done that myself in the early days, and I've always found that Halbrand on a horse performs a bit better than Arathorn in terms of the bigger picture of the game and the scenarios. Mm-hmm. So he's a pretty decent hero. You probably won't see him with the banner of Arwen even Starfon because it makes him an expensive hero.
Yeah, he's reaching sort of who else has that points? Thorin Oakenshield style.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer, isn't it? Yeah. Which are you going to take? So that's Halbrand. Well, what you also find as well is that he comes in a blister, or did come in a blister with Arathorn. Now they're both from different times-ish. Just I think Halbrand would have been quite young when Arathorn was around. So sometimes in those lower points game, you'll see both of them. So next up, we have got
Elladan and Elrahir.
These are elves.
Yeah, they are elves, but they are there.
They are
there.
They're members of the Grey Company.
Yeah. They're the sons of what's his name?
Elrond.
That's it. Elrond half Elven. So both Elladan and let's do a stat line first. They're fight 6 as elves should be. Elven heroes. They're 3+ shoot value like an elf. Strength 4, defense 5 basic, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 6, 3 might, 2 will, 2 fate each. So for relatively cheap points, you're getting 2 good heroes.
Yeah, they're 70 points each.
Yeah, when you split them, they're cheap. Yeah. They've got the options for elven cloaks each for 20 points, horses for 20 points for both, elf bows 10 points for both, and heavy armour, which you will take the heavy armour, you will take horses.
Yeah.
And they come with armour and have 2 elven blades, and they've got a host of special rules.
They do indeed. The key thing with these guys is, it seems expensive to take them, but they are great value.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get them into sort of smaller.
Small games are hard because you want another hero alongside them.
You do.
Because they've got to be in each other's warband. One's the leader, one's takes the place of a warrior.
I mean, you can imagine that if you could split them up. That would be
horrendous. A list that won a GT a while ago, when warbands first came in, someone had them both leading warbands.
Cheating.
No one realised until the last game, your army's illegal.
Wow.
But GW didn't do anything at the time, so they won the tournament.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Imagine that. It would be pretty awesome if they could. Yeah. So they do have a couple of very cool special rules actually.
They do. They got twin elven blades, so when fighting on foot, the brothers must choose to fight in one of 3 different ways. They can either go two-handed, is it? Yeah.
Yep, so fight with a single sword, so it counts as a 2-handed weapon.
Fight with 2 swords, like we see Thranduil doing, they get +1 attack, so 3 attacks each on foot.
Which you'll see most people doing, I imagine.
Yes, yeah.
Most of the time.
Or they can parry, which counts as shielding, and they get to double their dice, 4 dice to survive.
So that's pretty cool.
More often than not, they're 3 attacks if they're on foot. And the other one, the double-edged sword is the unbreakable bond. So if one of the twins is killed, the other one goes berserk and goes after the model that killed it. Also drops their defense by 1 and their strength increases by 1. But they must do whatever they can to get to that model. This includes heroic marches, heroic moves, heroic combats, everything in their possible power to get to that model. Which can be a real pain in the arse. Yes,
it's not. I've seen it. I saw it at the last tournament. Jay got kited away just because one twin had died, and it prevented him from winning a game that he ended up drawing.
Yeah.
Second to last game of the tournament. So it can be. It's a real double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I've experienced it myself in against James Bond.
Yeah.
And kited away one of his heroes.
Yeah. Well, if a mounted model kills one of them, then you're never really going to catch it. So you've got to use that heroic move. There's a point in might you don't want to spend because you're just chasing a regular guy, and then he can be counted around again because he's got to charge the closest visible one. I think it is.
Yeah.
He must charge if possible.
Yeah. No, it is a bit of a double-edged sword. Now these guys, they are great value. A lot of the time you're going to see them on horses with heavy armour. If you can get them in the list, I would say that do, because they're the highest fight in those bar Aragorn.
Yeah.
And good value. I guess
and
if you're
might and good will, good fate.
I was going to say, if you're looking at it and you're saying, well, would you take Elladan and Elra here with, well, let's just say that you took them with even just with armour, or would you take Aragorn and Isildur's heir?
Take the twins for them.
I would take the twins.
They can kill more models a turn than he can.
Yeah, they've got more wounds in total. They've got obviously 6 might. Then they've got more fate in total.
They can be in more places than once.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't really want to split them up though.
So really, really good value. And then we come on to the guys who allow the Grey Company list to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, and these are independent heroes.
So we've got the cheaper one first, the Dunedain. They're fight 4 with a 3+ shoot value, strength 4, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 5, 1 might, 1 will, 1 fate. They come with a bow and have the option for a spear.
Mm-hmm.
So sort of like a more expensive damrod.
Yeah.
Well, with a point of armour less, but decent courage.
Yeah, decent courage. You tend to see people
they
use them as drops.
Yeah, because they're independent heroes, so they get put down first, which really plays into the Grey Company style that they're ambushers. So they're going to see where you deploy first and deploy to counteract it.
Yeah.
So drops like this can be annoying to play against, but in the Grey Company, at least you can imagine it happening. It's not like Fatty Bulger's turned up for war, not like Lobelia's turned up for war, and Alfred's turned up.
Yeah.
You've got your scouts have turned up, you can imagine, and they've told the company where to arrive.
And it feels right when you're doing it as well,
yeah.
as part of that list. It does feel like, oh, hang on, this is quite fluffy, this is quite, how it's supposed to be. So they're okay, aren't they? They're only fight 4. But
the Dunedain you rarely see, because the Rangers of the North, which we'll discuss next, have more versatility to them as a hero choice.
Yeah, we might as well go straight on to that. I mean, the Dunedain are lovely models though, and that's the one thing. I've got lots of the models, and I've got lots of Rangers of the North as well. You take the Rangers of the North all day long, because for 1 point more, what do they get?
They get extra defence.
And some options.
They gain option to the horse for 6 points, and the Ranger of the North on a horse is good.
Yeah.
It is good.
So all of a sudden, for that 31 points, you're getting you've got the fight value 4 cavalry.
Yeah.
It's defense 5, which is okay, but the key thing is strength 4.
Strength 4 with a point of might.
Strength 4 with a point of might. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good going. And again, yeah, we do tend to see more of these. I've got some conversions downstairs that need painted up.
Yeah.
And tidying up and stuff.
1,000 point army, you could do, 30 Rangers of the North mounted, and Halbrand Dunedain mounted.
I think I worked it out, yeah. If you were trying to do the actual Grey Company.
You just can't take the banner of army even stuff.
No. Oh dear. I've been tempted. I've probably got enough to do.
It would be a horrible army to play against for the first few turns.
Yeah. The first few turns would be quite tough.
Like, oh god, everything's dying.
It'd be great if you get Aragorn in it, couldn't it? Yeah, that would be great. If you get Aragorn in. But yeah, so that takes us to the end of the heroes of Arnor, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of on there.
We've actually done quite a bit of time on this one, 23 minutes. Arnor could be its own section. No, it won't be.
No, it won't be. We'll get it on, because Numenor is so small and weak. So it does bring us on to the Warriors of Arnor.
Yep.
There's only 2, Jamie.
There's a Ranger of Arnor,
okay,
which is fight 4, which is good. 3+ shoot value, which is the Ranger, what you expect. Strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, and courage 3.
It's a good Ranger profile.
Just an Arnor of Ranger, Ranger of Arnor with armor bow, and the option for a spear.
Yeah, so nice and soft, reasonably cheap.
Yeah.
What you'd expect from sort of a Ranger profile.
Same as Gondor.
And again, I guess you would say better than the Blackroot Vale Archers.
Yeah, by far.
Better than the Blackroot Vale Archers. And again, you see these guys allied in quite a bit.
The next troop.
Yeah.
The Warrior of Arnor, I think, is underpointed by a point.
Yeah, he is.
And there should be 9 points. They're fight 4 with a 4+ shoot value, so the fight 4 is good. Strength 3, defense 6, so they come with heavy armor, shield, and spear basic. 1 attack, 1 wound. They'll let down be encouraged 2.
Yeah.
And they've got access to a banner.
Now, These guys, apart from the courage, so when they get broken it's a big issue, and for charging things that's a big issue, they're actually pretty good standard troop.
Oh yeah, they form the shield wall, don't they, or the spear wall. You know, a fight 4, defence 6 spear wall, it's not an easy thing to crack. Usually you have a banner knocking around behind and you've got a 5+ save, so if you do kill them and you're not strength 4, they've got a chance of coming back. It's a hard army to break.
Yeah, and nice models. I've got some...
yeah, they're very nice models.
Some nice models. I've never been a fan of the cloth, sort of War of the Roses thing.
Yeah.
But I've got some Warriors of Minas Tirith downstairs which I'm looking to convert into them. We do see a few of these around.
Yeah, they do appear. Alan Little had them, Jay Finnegan's got some.
Yeah. Sam
Jeffrey's got them. Take Sam out with them though, some scumbag.
Boo. So yeah, they're pretty good. There's not a lot to talk about when it comes to the Warriors of Arnor.
It's just a standard warrior.
What you will see a lot is you will see quite a lot of that front rank Warriors of Arnor, back rank, or even where people go sort of 2 war bands of Warriors of Arnor, and they go 1 war band. Is that Jane?
Of Raiders.
Surely not Jane.
The fear.
I'm being serious. You carry on.
I carry on. Okay, so that's Arnor done. Next up is Numenor. Surreal. You shut the curtains.
No, it's not Jane.
Okay, cool. Alright, so the first panic over everything.
That would have been a bit early.
Yeah. So, God, I feel like I'm some sort of dirty affair.
You are. I am currently cheating on Jane with you.
Oh God. So the first hero of Numenor is Elendil, the High King of Gondor and Arnor.
What a beast.
What a beast. He is fight 7. He's 4+ shoot value, which is irrelevant as most of these have been. Strength 4, defense 7. He wears very heavy armour. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 6, 3 might, 3 will, 1 fate. He dies. And has Narsil. And he has the option for a horse and a shield, which takes him to defense 8, which is nice and high.
Oh wow, he's a real
He's very
beast.
good. You can put him on horse and shield, definitely. And Narsil, which is the shards of Narsil, obviously before they're broken. Elendil can fight a heroic combat in the fight phase without expending might.
Which is huge.
Which a free heroic combat every turn.
Which is huge. No, he is an expensive hero.
He is expensive, yes.
But you are getting fight 7,
yeah.
Which suddenly he's beating most other heroes until maybe the recent
recent Legolas. Yeah.
Yeah, just recently. Azog's, Legolas's, Thranduil's. But Elendil was one of the originals along with Glorfindel, part of that club. Defense 7 that can go to defense 8.
Defense 8's big because that's something then. Yeah, your dwarven, your strength 4 guys need 6x4s, strength 3, 6x5s.
A strength 4 still needs 6.
Oh yeah, 6, it's just 6s, isn't it? Yeah. You know how I always work that out? No. What does Legolas need to wound a ring wraith? That's how I always think of it. It's like strength 3, defense 8. What do I need to kill him? 6x4. All right.
6x4s, yeah. 6x4s.
Yeah.
So the fate could be an issue, but because he's such high defense and 3 wounds,
it shouldn't be too bad.
Now
it's going to take a while to get him to go down.
I look at it and I think you're going to see him as part. Well, of course, if someone's singing a numeral list, you have to take. You have to take him.
If Ben Camp's taking a 1,000-point Warrior of Arnor list, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at how much is left on the memory card.
Oh, okay.
1 minute.
Wow, really? Oh, okay.
That's okay. We've got stuff to delete.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, if you're taking a Numenor force, you have to take him because you're only one of 2 named heroes.
Do you see him at all in any all hero lists?
Nope. The fate is the letdown.
The fate is the letdown, which is interesting because you do see Gil-galad.
Yes, that's for fight 9. Fight 7 is accessible by Glorfindel.
Yeah.
Who is infinitely better than Elendil.
Of course he is. So a good, strong hero.
Yeah.
Of Numenor. He is. He's a good, strong hero, and he is a nice model as well. Can you get Elendil mounted like as a model, or is it conversion?
No, I think it's conversions.
Okay, but unlike the next one, which is a Isildur.
Yeah. Yeah. Most people use LSR and put the top half of him on LSR's map.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Isildur next up. He is fight 6 again. Strength 4, defense 7 though. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 6, 3 might, 1 will, 2 fate. Wears very heavy armour. Can take a horse and shield, so he can get up to defense 8 again.
Defense 8 again.
And his special rule is the ring. If neither Frodo nor Bilbo are in the Force, Isildur can carry the ring. See the main rules manual.
How interesting.
Yes. And he's, for what he is, he's cheap.
He is very cheap. He's very, very cheap. We're back.
We're back. Sorry for the cut again. So Isildur has the ring, good fight value, high defense, 3 attacks, 3 runes, 3 might, 2 fate.
Option to take the horse and shield again.
Yep, definitely take him. The fact he's got the ring is pretty decent. So when he puts the ring on, he's going to beat anyone's fight value.
Because it halves the opponent's fight value, is that right?
Yes, that's right. So even if the heroic struck went to strength 10 to fight 10, they drop down to 5 and he's 6.
Now I've never, believe it or not, ever come up against the ring in a game. So I'm not 100% on the rules.
Okay.
What are the negatives?
The negatives are different. I remember them from the Lord of the Rings rules. Like whenever I played against the ring user, I've had to have the rules open for it.
Especially yeah.
It's got a page to itself.
Wow. Page to itself. There you go. The ring.
Right. So.
Good a time as any to go through it.
Yeah.
This is learning for me, guys.
So when you put the ring on, you become invisible during the move phase.
Mm-hmm. Does his horse become invisible?
Yeah, horse becomes invisible due to the community FAQ. Invisible ponies as well. So whilst you're invisible, whilst you wear the ring bearer can't be targeted by shooting attacks and does not count as in the way. Mm-hmm. The ring bearer has no control zone while invisible, and enemy models may even move through the ring bearer. If an enemy model wishes to move, end their move upon the ring bearer, the minimum distance needed to move the ring bearer to get them into a safe place is moved. Mm-hmm. This could involve hopping low walls, moving through foes, or being shoved off cliffs.
Nice.
If an enemy wishes to charge the ring bearer while he wears the ring, it must pass a courage test, applying a penalty of -1 to the roll for every full inch that the ring bearer is away from the foe. During the fight phase, any model engaged in combat with an invisible ring bearer halves its fight value for the duration of the duel. None of the above rules apply to the Nazgul or Sauron. Indeed, they actually gain some benefits.
Cool.
So you don't become invisible to them. If you want to remove the ring, you must pass a courage test. This can take at any point during the ring bearer's move phase once it's been established which side controls his movements. See below. If the test is failed, the ring bearer must wear the ring until the next turn, and he will have a chance to do it again.
Okay.
So Sauron's will. This is the sort of the real downside to the ring that Bilbo ignores. At the start of the turn, if you have to roll a dice on a 1 or 2, your opponent gets to control that model for movement wise, but not for combat or anything. On a 3, 4, 5 or 6, you get to control them. Regardless of which side moves the ring bearer, he is still part of the good side, and all of their actions such as shooting, fighting remain under the control of the good player. This means that when the evil model moves the ring bearer, all he can do is move it, including charging. So you can charge it to your own models, and he can make him take the ring off as well.
Well, okay.
Yeah. He can do nothing that would cause direct harm, just jumping down a cliff, or be moved off the table if the scenario allows.
Oh, interesting.
My precious is the final rule. If the ring bearer is the only model left on the good side and he's wearing the ring, he counts as a casualty. His mind has been taken over by its power and essentially becomes Gollum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's pretty useful, but there are some downsides.
Yep.
Now, do we see that apart from outside the Numenor list where someone decides to take a full Numenor list, do we ever see him apart from all hero list?
Not really.
And again, very interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I think
he's quite cheap.
He's cheap. I think Ed's theorised about taking Isildur quite a lot because the ring is good, but it's.
I mean, 1 will. 2 fate and 3 wounds and defense 8 is pretty good for survivability.
Yeah.
1 will
is the sort of letdown for magic resistance.
But then again, I guess if he's wearing the ring, not a lot's going to be able to target him other than ring waves,
which is a big threat.
The big threat. So as long as you go to a tournament, Ed's not out. Hang on, that can't happen ever.
Yeah.
Or he decides to take Rivendell Knights, of course. But I think as part of an all hero list, he
could work. But I just don't think people just don't look at him when you've got the sort of the tried and tested.
Expensive model to get hold of now as well.
Yeah,
it's very tough.
on Mountain's tough. He's
on foot. They're both easy to come across.
Yeah, because they were released on foot as Battle Game in Middle Earth. In the red blister packs, but
I might have a couple downstairs. But the mounted version is very, very tough to get. Definitely try and do a conversion to get that.
Yeah.
And again, I guess that's a pretty easy one.
Yeah,
sword the top
off. And he's on horse, take the sword, put it on the side.
If anyone wants to send me some Aragorn
mounted
Alessa,
yeah,
that'd be good. So then we come to
Captain of Numenor, who I actually think is a really good hero.
Yeah, he is actually, yeah. He's got that key fight 5.
Yeah, he's got fight 5, strength 4 for all the heroes, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 2 on 1 for Might Will Fate.
So a pretty good captain.
Just
cheap.
Cheap. He wears armour, he can take heavy armour, shield, lance, bow and horse. So, defense 7, on horse with a lance.
That's what we talked about. And the fact that he can be that fight 5, he's kind of what your Dalamoth captain should be.
He's what the Dalamoth captain should be,
He's indeed very strong, and you might have seen him in the middle of Deadly Swartlands.
Yes, he appeared. Yeah.
Didn't he win a game for Numenor?
He did. he beat the Blackguard of Barad-dûr
single-handedly. Well, he ran away and they ran away. So.
Yeah. Although I did think they were courage 4, so I think that game still worked out. Someone worked it out. Numenor would have had 1 left. It's like, whew, this didn't skew the results in any way.
Close stuff.
Yeah, and then we go on to their expansive troop types. The warriors of Numenor, who are fight 4 with a 4+ shoot value, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 3. They're 7 points, so they pay their point difference from warrior of Rohan to get the fight 4.
Yep.
They can take a banner, bow, spear, and shield, and that's all she wrote for Numenor.
That's it.
That's it. There's nothing.
Now, Numenor are there because of the scenarios. That's what they're there for. That is exactly what they're there for.
There's been lots of talk of expanding, how to expand Numenor.
All you'd have to do is give a horse option.
Horse option for the troops, make them into...
Yeah, you give a 6 point horse option.
Yeah, give them a lance maybe. There was also talk of making them have great bows, or make their iron bows part of the game. Also make them strength 4.
I mean, it's really, the models, some of them...
The bowmen are tiny, the plastic swordsmen are tiny. The
new metal stuff is much better.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah, the metal ones with spear.
Yeah, I think I've got 8 of them.
Yeah, they're really nice models. In fact, I've got one of yours downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's from, but it is downstairs. So yeah, not a massively expansive list, which is why we put it in with Arnor. Do we see Numenor getting taken much?
There's only one person, well there's 2 I know of, Ben Camp and Owen Wright.
Who will take Numenor?
Yeah.
Right, well, there you go. You're not going to see too much of these guys. You might see some of the heroes out there, I would imagine, because they are cool. Yeah. Maybe especially Isildur in the future. Okie doke. So that takes us to the end of all of the different armies in the Kings of Men. So what we are going to do, because that was a slightly shorter...
Yeah, I think we're probably on about half an hour, I think, so now.
Yeah, so we'll have a relatively quick run through some of these scenarios.
We're not going into too much detail.
So first up, we've got the Gladden Fields. Of course, this is the scenario where
Isildur snuffs it.
He snuffs it. On the good side, you've obviously got Isildur, and he can have up to 200 points of his followers from a Numenor army list.
So, captain.
What can I have?
So you can have a captain and 2 warbands, essentially.
It doesn't say not Elendil. It doesn't say that. Game in the system.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then evil can have 2 orc captains and additional 300 points of followers. So it's to represent them again.
Yeah.
Completely ambushed. Yeah. Now your setup. Now there's a river in this setup.
A forked river.
Yeah, a forked river, and yeah, I think we can just show you a bit there. There you go. That's your setup there. Starting position. The good side begins the battle in the fork between the 2 streams, but no model can be nearer than the ford than 6 inches.
Yeah.
All the good side must set up first. Once a good army is positioned, it's time for the 2 evil groups led by one of the York captains to deploy. So again, it's to represent, well, the good forces are deployed, they don't know what's happening, and the evil player has an advantage there, not just in terms of numbers, but in positioning.
Yeah.
And it says here, additionally, because it's an ambush, each evil model must be positioned in such a way that it is at least partially hidden from the view of the good models.
So you need quite a bit of terrain.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's got some like trees and some marshes and stuff like here. Okay, now the objectives, the good army wins if at least half the good models reach within 6 inches of the north board edge. Yeah. Okay. The evil army wins if it slays at least half the enemy or if Isildur is killed. Okay, so a good bit of fun. It does have some special rules. The Tributary stream. The streams are narrow enough to jump over, but in places the banks are rocky and impassable as shown on the map. So again, you've got to use the map for this one. And Isildur does have the 1 ring. If he leaves the table whilst wearing the ring, he counts as a casualty and the evil player will win. So he's got to take it off just before he leaves the board.
So he gets shot before he dies. Just for leaves.
Which is kind of what happens. Which is kind of what happens, and that's Gladden Fields. Have you ever played that one?
Nope.
I think some of these are ones that we could do in the future, so we'll get to it. So next up, we've got Ambush in Ithilien.
Ambush in Ithilien. This one we probably won't get to do. No. So participants are Faramir, Madril and Damrod, and up to 150 points of their followers, chosen from the Minas Tirith army list. The evil forces include a war mimic and up to 225 additional followers. So you're probably just going to put guys in the Howler.
Yeah.
Layout is there. It's just big road in the middle and 2 forests on either side.
You stand what you'd imagine the ambush.
Yeah, well, imagine the film. Yeah, that's it. The good player sets up his models first. He deploys his forces within 12 inches of either the north or south board edges, splitting any manner he sees fit, representing the rangers laying low and waiting for the Hadrim to pass. The forces of evil are split into 2. Just because you can't just put everyone in the Howler.
No.
With each portion having the same number of models as the other, or as close to doing so as possible. The War Mimic and the Haradrim Chieftain count as a single model and must come in the second wave. This represents the different waves of the marching column. Each wave will enter play from the westboard edge, see special rules below. Evil has the first turn priority and begins by moving the first wave on from the westboard edge. The special rules are ambush. While the good models remain in the woods or behind obstacles and do not fire on the Haradrim, the evil models must remain on the road and cannot do anything besides move. As soon as the good model shoots a bow or moves from cover, the Haradrim can act normally.
Okay.
That's quite cool.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, you just walk on the edge of the road, ready to run out and meet them.
Yeah.
If you're cheating it. The Southron Horde. The Haradrim convoy consists of many warriors marching towards Mordor, and the warriors of this scenario are merely the vanguard, no model need test for being broken. And waves, the Haradrim force has been split thanks to the long march. Once any model from the Haradrim first wave reaches the halfway point, the second wave is able to enter play on the road from the westboard edge in the following evil move phase.
That's cool.
Should members of the first wave be slain, the second wave can enter regardless.
It looks like it'd be quite fun to play.
Yeah.
And it's not completely outside of us to be able to set up that scenario. So it's not a huge amount of points.
Just means getting people in with mimics
and
things. To win, the evil player must move a third of his models or more off the opposite board edge, the east board edge. Remember, the war mimic still only counts as 1. Models leaving the board edge but leave the table count as slain. The good player wins if less than a third of the total Haradrim force escapes.
So it's a pretty simple.
Yeah, so I guess you want to hoard out your evil force.
And it doesn't require too much. That's one of the things I like about it. If you compare them to some of the newer scenarios for Desolation of Smaug.
You need 20 Mirkwood spiders for this scenario. Yeah, do one.
Or the latest one with all the Smaug. Alright, yeah. Well, this will be after they've talked about it. Smaug, Bard with Windlance, and like God knows how many Lake Town Militia.
Yeah.
All of which are just there for
sales.
But they can't do anything in the game.
Oh yeah.
They can't do it. They can't do anything. So they're just there to look pretty.
Yeah.
It's basically Bard and Windlance versus Militia.
Right,
yeah. Because it's all on like platforms and stuff. It's interesting. So yeah, one that we could certainly do there. Next up, we've got the relief of Helm's Deep. So yeah, this is one that I would love to do at some point. So the good participants follow models from the Fellowship Army list, so 3 people's sourcebook: Aragorn, Gandalf and Legolas, all mounted on horses, and Gimli. And from the Rohan army list, you can take Theoden, Gamling, Eomer, and up to 400 additional points to their followers from other wall-mats. So a bit bigger here to represent this is a battle. The evil participants have got 600 points of warbands chosen from the Isengard list in a Fallen Realm sourcebook, although no named heroes can be selected. It's a proper horde of Isengard. So the layout is as so. There we go. Okay, starting positions. So Theoden, Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli and Gamling, and up to 10 additional models are placed on the causeway. So you want your Rohan, Helm's Deep terrain to be able to do this. The entire evil army is deployed anywhere on the table, okay, but nowhere close to the good forces. The objectives are: the good side wins if it can destroy half the opposing army without losing any heroes, or destroy the entire evil army without losing more than 1 hero. So if you lose 2 heroes, you've got to wipe out your Oroka. So that's going to be tough. The evil side wins it if it prevents the good side from achieving its victory conditions. I think that's quite tough for good.
Yeah.
Very, very tough. Now there are some special rules, maybe these will help. We've got Ride to Glory. This is meant to be Theoden's last defiant Ride to Glory, and he and his warriors have sung their death songs. Theoden and all good models within 24 inches of him automatically pass any courage test they are required to take.
It's not great.
No. They are probably going to be broken, aren't they?
Eventually.
Notes, this is a big battle and one that plays well with larger forces. The evil victory conditions have been arranged so the evil side stands a chance of winning by simply taking down a few of the good heroes. As in a prolonged fight, the evil side cannot realistically hope to overcome the combined good force. It's not going to be a prolonged fight, though.
No, it's not.
That's ridiculous.
that note needs taken out.
Yeah, it does. It does. But yeah, that's the relief of Helm's Deep. Good luck to the good forces in that. And again, one that we could probably do in the future. So next up is one that you've actually done.
Yeah,
I believe.
the Wrath of Rohan.
Without me.
Without you saying. It's on the channel if you want to watch this.
It's not worth watching, though. No, it's very good.
It's very good. What are you talking about?
Is that where #Bosch came from?
It is.
Then you need to go and watch that video.
It's #Bosch. So, participants are Eomer and up to 250 additional points of his followers and other warbands from the Rohan army list, along with Merry and Pippin from the Fellowship list. The evil participants are Ugluk and up to 150 points of his followers, and the second group, which up the this is a slightly different one to what we did.
Ah, yeah, you did.
The second, we did the one from the Journey books.
Yes.
This one's got the newer models in. The second group, which makes up the reinforcements, include Maher and 150 points of his followers, which we didn't do. Layout is as such. There's the campfire in the middle and Fangorn on one side of the board. The start positions are Merry and Pippin within 12 inches of the Orc camp, which is a 12 by 12 square is their camp. The Riders of Rohan set up along the west table edge, no closer than 12 inches away. Some Sons of Aeol to get the first turn charge. Woohoo! Scumbags. Objectives. The evil side wins if it controls both Merry and Pippin at the end of the game. The good side wins if the hobbits can escape from the board by the east board edge, or if all the evil models are slain. Special rules. Hobbit prisoners. Start the game, Merry and Pippin are prisoners in the Orc camp. The hobbits are bound and follow the rules for heavy objects. See the rules manual. If a hobbit is dropped, by the model carrying them being charged, for example, roll a d6 and start the next good move phase. On a 4+, the hobbits have slipped their bindings and they move as normal. On a 1 to 3, they fail and
That's quite cool.
Can try again next turn if they're not picked up again.
Nice and theming.
Yep. The will of Saruman, such as the driving force behind the Isengard warriors, that the evil player only needs to start taking courage tests once half the entire force is destroyed, not just half of Ugluk's force. Even if Maher's reinforcements are not yet on the table.
Interesting.
Maher's reinforcements, at the beginning of turn 3, roll a d6. On a 4+, Maher and his reinforcements will arrive from anywhere on the eastboard edge during the evil player's move phase. On a roll of 1, 2, 3, they have not yet arrived. Roll again the next turn. There's a chance Maher's reinforcements will never turn up. Such is the risk of entering Fangorn.
Wow. Wow, so some good scenarios there, not loads of them, 4. I don't think they take a huge amount to play.
No.
Interesting to see how balanced they are. I think that's the tough thing with any of these scenarios.
With any point, well, not point scenario, with any themey scenario.
Yeah, it becomes tough to judge, doesn't it? So wow, that brings us to completely the end of our Kingdoms of Men week, I guess it is.
Yeah.
So we hope that you've enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed that, keep an eye out for when we review the next source book, which could be any of them. We don't know which one it will be next. So guys, if you enjoyed that week, make sure you leave us comments below, because that's how we know whether you guys are enjoying these videos.
Yeah.
Don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support your hobby and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
And happy strategy battle gaming, guys.